Warning: this video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion advised.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is part 2 of 3 reasons why the Giants should draft the quarterback with the 6th overall selection in the 2024 draft. It was going to be a 30-minute video, so I decided to split it into 2 parts, and this next video is going to cover the remaining 2 reasons why the New York Giants should draft the quarterback. Like always, if you guys like what you guys see today, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, smash that bell button, smash that thumbs up button, and let's get it. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great day. Enjoy. Alright guys, let's get into point number 2, why the New York Football Giants should move on and draft a quarterback in the 2024 NFL Draft. As you guys can see on screen, I got Caleb Williams, and we're going to look at this website again. This is a website that I used in a couple of videos ago. I like this website because it lays everything down on the line. You know, everybody, all these different websites rank all these different quarterbacks differently. You know, I like this website because it breaks out a little summary and then it gives you guys all the stats right there. And it does it for all the different positions as well. This is why the New York Giants also should get a quarterback this year. Just the amount of talent that is on the top level of this draft. You clearly have 6 guys that is going to go in the top, you know, probably in the top 40 picks, if I was to say. With top cream of the crop, 6 quarterbacks. Now, I wouldn't say that all 6 are going to make it in this league. I wouldn't say that, you know, that they're all going to be successful. But if you look at years past, there has been quarterback droughts, with some years quarterbacks only going like mocked in the second. You know, we had 2021, I believe, when 3 quarterbacks was taken 1, 2, and 3. But you know, it's been a while since we had a front-loaded rich quarterback draft. Reason why we should take one of these top 6 is because if you really think about it, guys, the quarterback, like I said in the Daniel Jones point, is the most important position. When you have quarterbacks like Drake May, JJ McCartney, you know, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., you know, gonna be coming out, you know what I'm saying? You must try at least to obviously do your diligence and scout them, but you know, really think about it, because when you look at the receivers part of things, guys, there is always gonna be a receiver that is gonna shine. There's never gonna be no receivers in the draft. There's never gonna be a point where the draft is not gonna have true number 1 ranked receivers. You know, if you think about recent years past, you know, with the emergence of the Justin Jeffersons, the emergence of the Chases, you know, you had Puka last year. You know, I'm not saying Puka is gonna be a one of those top receivers. I mean, like, hopefully he continues and maybe he can. But you look at the years before that. You know what I'm saying? You had AJ Greens, you had Julio Jones, you had Antonio Browns dominating the league. You go back before that, you had TOs, you had Megatrons. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of that, you know, you had your Hopkins, your Davante Adams, your Stephon Diggs. I can go on and on. Mike Evans. I can name receivers for days, guys. But when you really think about it, there's what, like you know, 40 about 20 elite, 40 close to being elite, and like fucking 60 stud wide receivers in the NFL, and then, you know, 90 that sees the field every play. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it on offense, you know, unless you're running a 2 tight end set, I mean, like, receivers are always gonna be. There's loads of receivers. Now, when you think of the quarterbacks, right, there is only really like 8, like, really truly elite quarterbacks, and then maybe like, you know, 15 legit quarterbacks, and then after that it's a fall off, right? You get to your 25th, your 26th, your 27th quarterbacks of the league. You're like, bro, I want the sport to be represented with the best 32 in the league, and it's not looking like that, right? So when you have the chance for the say, like, you look at the AFC, right? The AFC's been spending all this money on not all this money, but the AFC been lucky enough to get your Patrick Mahomes, your Josh Allens, your Trevor Lawrences, your Joe Burrows, your Lamar Jacksons, your CJ Strouds. You know what I'm saying? Now it flips. Now look at the NFC. You know, the NFC now has a chance to have teams at the top, like your Washington and your Bears, you know what I'm saying, and your Vikings that seems interested in the quarterback, you know, and the New York Football Giants that's interested in the quarterback that is now in prime position to kind of, you know, get out guys now. And I look at this year's draft as the year that the NFC kind of gets at least two. I would say at least two. Two out of these 6 quarterbacks, guys, they have to make it. You know what I'm saying? Not have to make it, but if everybody's saying that these 6 elite guys, right? These are 6 elite guys, and then there's a fall off, right? I would say at least 2 of these elite guys have to make it. You know what I'm saying? Have to prove everybody right in a sense. I think more than 2 is going to make it, but, you know, it's really rare that, you know, everybody shines in the NFL. But do I think these 6 have the opportunity right now to come into the New York Football Giants and compete for a starting job at the quarterbacks we have on roster with Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, and Tommy DeVito? Absolutely. Absolutely, these guys have a clear shot to come in, and even if they're going to sit for a year, they're going to compete. They're going to compete every single training camp, every single practice that is. They're going to compete in training camp. You know, they're going to be out here, they're going to compete. Now, if you look at the fall off of receiver, it's really a slow decline, right? You know, you can find 18 receivers in the top 100 picks in this draft. You know what I'm saying? All different sorts of receivers. There's probably a couple of X's you can find in the second, you know? You know, hopefully everything drops right. We can get one of those X's, one of those stud receivers in the second, if the draft falls right. But I believe if you go receiver at 6, you miss your chance to get one of these stud quarterbacks, then you put yourself in the scenario where you're not being competitive to win games with Daniel Jones. It doesn't matter who you take. Daniel Jones is not capable of getting the football out fast enough to give that receiver a chance. It's all processing time, guys. Daniel Jones' processing time has been stripped. It is a deer in headlights, bro. It doesn't matter what the offensive line looks like. He's still going to hold on to the ball longer than he should, or he's going to take off running. He's going to look to one. He's not going to look downfield, and he's just going to take off. But we covered Daniel Jones. We know to get back on Daniel Jones. These quarterbacks can set us up for the future, get rid of Daniel Jones' contract, and have a quarterback in-house, and then take the Buffalo Bills approach, take the Cincinnati Bengals approach, where you have your quarterback in-house, you bring in a wide receiver, and we're off to the races. Speaking of bringing in a wide receiver, you know, there's always going to be wide receivers. You know, let's look at the United States. Look at the wide receiver university. You know, always producing wide receivers. You know, Igbuga, I said that name so wrong. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be there next year in the second. He's gonna be one of those stud receivers we have a chance maybe to get. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we don't want to finish high enough to get him. We want to win. We want to compete. But at the end of the day, guys, it is a rebuild. You know, I get it. You guys like the Malik Neighbors. You guys like the Romes. At the end of the day, guys, you know, there's always going to be stud receivers. There's never going to be a draft where there's not going to be a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? If you look at other wide receivers that's going to come out next year too, someone's going to have an amazing season. Someone's going to go off, and his name's going to be talked about. This guy right here, I believe, is going to be one of the top wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Look, Jackson, Ohio State guy that went to Seattle. You know, we have Harrison that's probably going to go high. Hopefully he goes to the Cardinals or something. You know, leave a quarterback for one of us. You know, see what happens there. But that being said, there's always going to be wide receivers to give, wide receivers to go. You know what I'm saying? You can always find wide receivers in the draft, wide receivers in free agency. You know, if teams came to, if the Dolphins got Tyreek Hill, right? The Dolphins got Tyreek Hill in the trade. If the Dolphins called back the Chiefs in that process of making that trade and saying, you know what? Well, we don't want Tyreek Hill. What would it cost to get Patrick Mahomes? The Chiefs will hang up the phone. Because quarterbacks like that, they don't move. They don't move teams unless it's a major injury, like maybe like Peyton Manning moving to Denver, or maybe a marriage that we want so much, let's try to do it on our own with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Rarely does a great quarterback move teams. And Aaron Rodgers, you can say, okay, I'll give you maybe Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? Green Bay was kind of done with Aaron Rodgers. They felt like they wanted to move on with this guy. But that's Green Bay. That's Green Bay's approach. They did the same thing to Brett. That's just Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? That's the way Green Bay does it. You know what I'm saying? And if you really think about it, look how much wide receivers move teams. Look at all these great wide receivers. Julio Jones, then he moved teams. Hopkins, he moved teams. Randy Moss moved teams. Let's look at Adams. Adams moved teams. Tyreek Hill moved teams. So where does the NFL value your wide receiver and your quarterback? Your quarterback is more valuable than the wide receiver. So when there's 18 wide receivers in the top 100 picks, and there's only 6 quarterbacks, and the next quarterback in line is like ranked 130. Like, what does it make sense to not try to get one of these guys in-house, reset the contract next year? He's already in-house. He's already in-house for a whole year, whether he starts or not. He's already in-house on the whole year. That helps the team 1,000. I want to say 1,000. It will help this team a lot more better than getting a wide receiver in here that is going to struggle because his quarterback name is Daniel Jones, and he can't get him the football because he's going to be open, but Daniel Jones is not going to see him because he's going to be looking down at Slayton. Hypersensitive of the guy coming in distance, so he's going to take off as one without even giving Malik Neighbors a chance to get open. He's going to be a deer in headlights all over again, no matter what. You know? Daniel Jones is damaged goods, and that's why I think with this depth at wide receiver, yes, and with this depth at quarterback, we need to go get our guy. We need to go get our guy, guys. With the depth at quarterback, we need to go get our guy, and that is point number 2, basically. In a long shot, in a long one, with me out repeating the same point over and over again, guys. You look at next year. We can't wait. We can't wait for next year. We have one stud quarterback next year in Sanders. One. That's it, guys. That's it. One known to be stud. We know right now that Sanders is going to go in the first round. Now, yes, people's going to have a good year. Yes, more quarterbacks will probably go in the first round. But as of right now, only one in Sanders. Now people say, well, Quinn Ewers, and you got Lincoln Riley, and let's look at all of them. Right there, Quinn Ewers. Look at that. Now, if he has a really good year at Texas, he can go. He can go in round 1. Absolutely, I believe it. But right now, his projection is round 1 and round 3. Okay? Let's go down. Oh, Drew. I forgot about Drew. Penn State guy. 25 touchdowns, I believe. 2 interceptions. It should say it right there. Look at that. Round 1 and 3. Carson Beck out of Georgia. Round 1, round 3. Riley out of Notre Dame. Round 1, round 3. Jalen Monroe, if Monroe has a good season. Will Howard. Now, Van Dyke. How much, guys? Where's Dylan Gabriel on this damn list? He's my breakout guy. Cam Rising. Where's Dylan Gabriel? Right there. Dylan Gabriel is my breakout guy. Just transferred to Oregon. He's like breakout guy. He's been playing for like 5 years. He's going to go on his 6th year in college. But honestly, I just like him because he's from the islands. Got to represent my island people. But that being said, guys, you know, yeah, you can be like, well, look at this, Zion. Round one. You know, that's going to be a crazy year next year too. If all these quarterbacks ball out. But I don't think all these quarterbacks are going to ball out, guys. I think there's only going to be maybe 1 to 3. There's going to be 1 to 3 true number ones. Number ones next year. There's going to be 1 to 3, and I don't want to play that game. I don't want to take that chance. I don't. I want to get one of these top 6 guys in this year's draft, and I want to come back and I want to take a stud like this. Because if we're available to have a quarterback in-house where I know I can bring a receiver in and then they're both young and then they're both basically on the same contract looking on to the future, then you got ourselves a team. Then you got ourselves something that I can look forward for as a franchise that is going to appear in the playoffs for multiple seasons. I don't want to be one and done. I want to be like the Bengals. I want to be like the Buffalo Bills. I want to be like the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Like, their fan base know that they have to go through Mahomes at the very end, but at least their fan base knows that they have a quarterback that could carry them, hopefully, and get them to the playoffs, right? That they're going to be in the playoffs every year. I don't want to be 2016 and then fall off for the next 5 years, and then you look at us, yeah, we won against the Vikings, a washed-up team, and then disappear out of the playoffs rankings for the next year. You know what I'm saying? Let's get our quarterback in here this year, plan for next year, and that is point number 2, guys. As I leave this up, we can just kind of watch this explosiveness. I know this is next year's draft, and I'm looking too far ahead. He was injured. this year. He was injured this year, so yes, his yardage had fell off. You know what I'm saying? He only got 500, but at the end of the day, he did put up 1,000 in 2022 season, and that's why we're looking at this film. So we go out there, we get a guy like this, or another guy. You know what I'm saying? I believe there's a guy from Ole Miss. We go and we get a receiver next year, and then we're off to the races, guys. That being said, it brings me to our third point. Our third point being that our jobs are not on the line, guys. Our jobs are like Ole Miss, yeah, right there, Antoine Bills. Ole Miss. Our job are not on the line, guys. That's point number 3. Why we should get a quarterback with the 6th overall pick. Our job is not on the lines. If you really think about it, if you look at the franchise, you look how the contract is set, you look how everything is going. You know, I truly believe that they're gonna give them 2 years no matter what. But at the end of the day, it looks better on Joe Shane and on Brian Dable if you have a young guy in here that you can build. And if you think about it, Brian Dable has been the quarterback guru. You know what I'm saying? So you bring in a young guy in here that you can kind of mold and shape into the quarterback that you want, that has a better fighting chance of saving your job just in case you win less than 5 games. I'm not saying that they're immediately gonna fire them after John Mara just gave him the keys to the kingdom in Joe Shane, but it looks better on a team, on a focus, on where we want to go. I get it, guys. You know, you can say, oh, well, if you bring in a wide receiver and he has a good year, then they're still gonna keep them no matter what. And like I just covered it, guys, we don't wanna bet on a quarterback next year, guys. You know what I'm saying? If I was Joe Shane and I'm Brian Dable, you know, so you bet on your guy this year. You get your quarterback in-house. You know what I'm saying? Say he sits for the whole year, and you guys win 8 games or 7 games with Daniel Jones, and then he comes in next year ready to start, and it looks better on your resume. You know, a lot of the times these coaches basically want pride and want to be like, oh, I can be the guy that gets Daniel Jones in order and gets him to play better. I can be the guy that can fix the Giants. You know, it all starts with Daniel Jones. You get him out, and then maybe you can be the guy to fix the damn Giants. Because at the end of the day, all these coaches are recycling Daniel Jones over and over and over again, and they're losing their jobs because of it. Brian Dable, don't repeat that process. We've seen this story over and over and over again. Do not repeat this process. Don't go in this season with pride thinking that you can win with Daniel Jones, Drew Luck, and DeVito under your belt, because you will end up losing your job, and it may not be the next year, but be the year after that. Because guess what? You go into this season with Daniel Jones, we don't do good. You draft the quarterback next year. It's gonna be your second year of this whole 2 years given to you guys, and say we go 2 years winning 16 games. Like, that's not gonna cut it for Giants fans. We're gonna be calling for your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, Giants fans want to win. We understand that we're not right now in the place to win now, like be consistent and winning now and being consistent in the playoffs. But we know that we can compete. We know that we can compete. We've seen that 2 years ago, a year ago with the Vikings. You know what I'm saying? We're not even with the Vikings, but we're just us competing to get to the playoffs. You know, we lost Barkley. You know, Daniel Jones is not gonna have Barkley. So you think you can go into the season with Daniel Jones without Barkley is absolutely crazy. So Brian Dable, your job's on the line, and that's why I truly think that they can't go into a season with Daniel Jones, because our jobs are not on the line. As much as some of us, we want receivers, or maybe we want offensive line, or maybe we want Brock the tight end. At the end of the day, guys, you know, our job is not on the line. Like, Brian Dable's job is on the line, guys. Our job is not on the line. And Joe Shane, I know he really wants a quarterback. I know Brian Dable, he wants to compete regardless if he has a quarterback. I think he really likes Malik Neighbors. But I think the right move, guys, is to be, you know, you go out there and you go get your quarterback on the future. Because at the end of the day, point number 3, why the New York Giants shouldn't, you know, should go and draft the quarterback is, you know, it's going to look way more better as a coaching stand. You know, when you say like, hey guys, well, hey John, Ma, like, look, we have a guy, he's been sitting the whole year, this is the quarterback of the future, we're gonna dabble him out. It's just gonna look way better than saying, hey, yeah guys, we're gonna go out there with Daniel Jones. I think that puts a stain on your resume than the fact that you're gonna go march out there with a Drake, man. I know a lot of people may disagree with that point. Maybe like, well, regardless, regardless, Brian Dable's gonna be here. I don't think it's like that, guys. I think they have more freedom now, but I don't think they have longer than two and a half years. I think if it doesn't flip in the next 2 years, first of all, Giants fans ain't that patient. I know a lot of Giants fans want us to win right now, and I honestly think we build this team right. We get a quarterback in here this year. We get a wide receiver in next year. We can compete, and we can actually compete for a trophy in the next 4 years, guys. And that's what I want to be setting up. I want to have a good year this year. Maybe who knows? I'm not expecting anything. I'm looking at this year of getting our pieces in here for the future, and I'm looking at next year as the year that we can really push on being a threat in the playoffs, repeatable years for multiple years, not just one and done, guys. I'm tired of this one and done. We need to be a threat for multiple years. I know I said a lot here. I kind of had jumbled all 3 points together, guys. But if you like this video, you liked what you've seen today, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good one. Let's get it.